Hey beauty queens, hey sis, hey girl, hey, what's up? So I'm finally back. I returned after being gone for like, 2 months, very casual. But since I'm so inconsistent, I thought it would be a great idea to talk about how to be an influencer. LOL. LOL, just kidding, but unfortunately, like, I'm not really kidding, like, I'm serious. So for some reason, this topic has been on my mind. I'm like, I gotta film a video about this because I was saying to you guys on my Insta story, if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, you have to, sis. Like, you're missing out. If you don't, you gotta follow me on Instagram. So follow me there, side note, LOL. So anyway, so I was talking to you guys on Instagram about how I get the question of, basically they're like similar questions, but I get them all the time, and that is, how do I get on a PR list, how do you get free makeup, and how do I get invited to an event? So I figured I would put a video together such as this one about basically how to be an influencer, advice I would give, and I asked you guys to ask me questions about whatever you were wondering about. So I'm going to answer the questions now in this video. So I'm going to start with the first question, and that is, how long does it take you to get on a PR? So this question is a hard question to answer because I can't really answer it. Of course, it's going to be different for everybody. That's kind of like asking, like, how long does it take you to make $100,000? So it could take me 6 years. It could take the girl next to me 6 days. So it's hard to measure that. I can't really say like, well, it takes 6 months and 2 posts. Like, there's no formula to this, and there's really no formula to any of this, which is why I'm saying this is going to be more an advice video and what I think. It really just depends on the quality of your content. So if you start a page and your quality of the content is consistent all the way through and it's amazing, and you've got crispy clean images with perfect lighting, or you've got a very impeccable aesthetic, then you might get a PR package in 6 weeks. If you're learning how to navigate and how to take really clean pictures and how to get an aesthetic together, then it'll probably take you a longer time, maybe 6 months, maybe 6 years. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, you really never know. It could take a really long time, or it could be really quickly. But the whole point of this, you guys have to keep this in mind, the whole point of PR packages and private parties are for press. So what does press do? Answer that question for me. What do you think press does? Press gets news out, right? Or information out. So that's the reason why they do this, and they're only going to send it to people who have an audience to speak to and have an audience that will listen to them. Obviously, that's something that you need to build over time. It's not something that you're like, let me make an Instagram, put some makeup on it, and I'll wake up tomorrow morning and I'll be flooded. Packages will be at the door like all day long, all week long. That's not how it works. So it takes a while to build a following and get people to get behind you and really engage with you. So that's a hard question to answer, how long does it take? But my advice for creating a page that is something that a brand might be interested in sending product to you because they think you're worth the investment and they think that your page might sell the product that they're trying to sell, I would say take 2 or 3 influencers that you really like and you love and you aspire to be them and you think they're awesome. Study their page for a little while, see what they're posting, and ask yourself, why do you like their page so much? Is it because their pictures are so clean and amazing? Is it because they do photo shoots of the product 3 times a week? Is it because their clothes are really amazing, like their outfits are really well put together? Is it because you really like that they do a live stream every Friday night and they tell you about the latest products? Really think about why you're following that influencer, and I would recommend to kind of mimic what they're doing. So if you feel like she's got like a really clean aesthetic, her whole page is like cohesive and beautiful, then try to mimic that, try to do that. And I know people will have like opinions on that, like different influencers will have opinions on that, but my thing is that no matter how hard you try to, I don't want to use the word copy because I'm not telling you to copy, but people might say that's copying, but I would say it's not copying, because no matter how hard you try to do what somebody else is doing, it's never going to be what they're doing. Like, nobody could ever duplicate you. So I don't really believe in like the whole copycat thing. Like, I think it's purely inspiration, and that's fine, and that's innocent, right? So that's my take on it. That's what I would say to do. That's how you kind of like build a page. That's how you build your own brand and how to brand yourself, because by looking at their page, you'll kind of know what you really like. Most likely that's probably what you would like to be on your own page. So try to like mimic that, try to embody what they're doing, so you could kind of, you know, not be on their level, but get there. You could climb to their level. So the next question is, how do you go about gaining followers and getting them to engage? Well, how do you go about gaining followers? I would say, I think the basis of what we're talking about right now is very simple. All of it is about visuals. So if the page looks really good, people are gonna wanna follow you. If the picture looks really good, people are gonna wanna comment and engage. In order to get people to engage, you have to start a conversation. So sometimes it doesn't even need to be about beauty. It could be about something different, and you could do that on your Insta story, but you wanna keep the content consistent. So what I mean by that is, like, I would say theme. Like, don't mix like cooking with beauty, you know what I mean? So like, if you're gonna have a beauty page, have it all beauty, and find your own kind of style, your own kind of brand. And as time goes on, you'll be able to do that, and you will do that. You will find what you like, what you feel like goes on your page, what works for you. But in order for people to engage with you, you have to start a conversation. So don't put a really simple caption. Don't do that when you're just starting. Try to have a conversation. So if you're posting something about a mascara, say, I wore this mascara on Tuesday, you know, it didn't budge, it didn't move, so I will probably wear this to, you know, the club this weekend, blah, blah, blah. What's your favorite mascara? That way people could say, this is my favorite mascara, blah, 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 because, and then it just starts a very organic conversation, and that's how you'll keep your comments going, and that's the main goal. You want to have a conversation. Start a conversation. Always keep that in your brain. Start a conversation. Make people comfortable with talking to you, because that is like the #1 priority. You want an audience. In order to have an audience, there needs to be people listening to you and responding to you. So that's what you want. It's major. So the next question is, what do you feel it takes for brands to really notice you / your work? So again, this goes back to what I said the first time. You definitely want your page to look good. It's all about visuals. These people can't call you on the phone and have like a mini interview with you. That's not what it's about. I know this sounds so vain, but it's about how your page looks. If your looks are really, really clean, and your photos are really, really clean, really crisp, really clear, and your lighting is on point, they're gonna notice you. Because let me tell you something. First of all, before I go into this, I want to say, make sure you are always tagging the brand. Tag it on the photo and tag their hashtag. So if you don't know their hashtag, you can go to the brand's page. They will have their hashtag in the bio. So make sure you use that. It's so important. Anyway, going back to what I said. So guys, let me tell you a little secret. For some reason, people think, oh, the brand is not going to see my page because they have 1 million followers, or they have 15 million followers. Guys, let's be realistic. These brands have a team dedicated to their social media platforms. There are people who work on their Instagram team, their Twitter team, their YouTube account. On a daily basis, they are actively working on their social accounts. So it's not just like they're like, hey, like, let's just make ourselves a page and throw a photo on it. Like, that's not what they're doing. And it's very analytical too. So they use it for numbers. They use it to see who their customer is. All this stuff. It's more than a pretty picture. So if you think the brand is not seeing your photo, trust me, they are. Maybe they're not engaging with it. And if they're not engaging with it, that is just telling you something. And I'm not even trying to be rude or harsh, but this is exactly what it is. It's just that you're probably not catching their eye. So they're probably just scrolling right past through your content, but they're seeing it, but they're just scrolling past it. And that's probably because it's not catching their eye. So that tells you something. What do I need to do? Do my pictures need to be a little bit more clear? Do they need to have better lighting? Does my artistry need to get better? Because sometimes, you know, that's a thing too. Sometimes, you know, they want the looks to be really clean. They want to post a really beautiful photo that's going to look great on their page. So just be very realistic with yourself. If you think you need help in some areas, work on that area. Try to get better lighting. Try to get a better shot. You don't always need like a professional camera. I would say that if you're serious about this and you want to be a real influencer, then you've got to invest in your business. So the first thing you want to do is save up for a camera. Lighting, I wouldn't even really worry about. Unless you're starting a YouTube and you have the intention to start a YouTube, then I would say go ahead and invest in some lighting. But that's not necessarily always like the case and what you need. I would say first focus on getting the camera. That way you could get really nice clean pictures, because you could always use natural light for photos. All the micro close-up shots that I take, I try to take them in natural lighting, because that is my favorite lighting. It never fails me. It always looks so good and on point, and those are the pictures that the brands repost. So how do I think they see my photo? I think they see it because I tag them in it. Actually, I know they see it because I tag them in it, and they look through their tag photos and they see it and they repost it. So that's what I mean by, if you're like, well, they never like my picture and they never comment. Well, that's probably because they're like, this doesn't really match our aesthetic, you know what I mean? So I'm just gonna scroll past. So that's something to definitely keep in mind. If you feel like you need help with things, try to reach out to people who are maybe like an expert in the field. So like maybe somebody who's really good with lighting, or you really even like their pictures. Ask them, how do you take that photo? Just be very like inquisitive. Just ask a lot of questions. Whatever you want to know, feel free to ask, because you never know. Like, people will be willing to help you, and if they say no, whatever, sis, like, they're a hater. Just keep on moving, and that's it. But don't be afraid to like ask people, like, how'd you do that? How'd you take this picture? Because, you know, sometimes people can be helpful, which is awesome. So I would say that's how brands notice you. Also, I want to segue into this, into like partnerships, sponsorships. This may be an unpopular opinion, what I'm about to say, but for me, I genuinely believe that if a brand sees your page and they think you are a perfect fit for the brand, they're gonna reach out to you and they're gonna want to work with you. So I don't really believe in always reaching out to the brand. I think maybe sometimes, you know, you could reach out to a brand and say so-and-so. Also, side note, write this down. I have a book, it's called Influencer. I cannot remember the author. I think her last name may be Hennessy. I will put it right here so you guys could buy it. But I would recommend to buy this because she has little like templates of things you could say when you're reaching out to a brand. So I would say reach out to brands when you've got, I would say at least over 10K. Now, not everybody would agree with me, and you feel really confident in your work. If you look at your page and you're like, this is pristine. If you're like, I don't really know if I have a chance, then I would say don't do it and work on it. But this is just how I think, and I'm really just thinking in a business sense, because like I said, guys, these brands have a team that work on their social media platforms. So if you are tagging your stuff with the brand, they're going to see your content, and if they love your content, trust me, I would never lie to you, they're gonna reach out to you, because trust me, girl, they see it. Samantha Rivendell did a video, I can't remember if it was an influencer video like this one, I can't remember, it was a while ago, but she did a video like this, and I remember her saying the same thing, and I'm like, preach, sis. Like, I feel like it's just an honest answer. Like, that's just what it is. Like, if you're super talented and your work is up to par, they're gonna reach out. Trust me, sis. But you have to build it. You have to get there. You know what I mean? So that's perfectly fine, and there's nothing wrong with that. So that's what I would say with that answer. And I'll also mention how I built my following. So this is for me, and keep in mind this was 6 years ago now, because I started my social media platforms about 6 years ago, and things were very different 6 years ago. But this is what I did. So with the hashtags, I would find the brand's hashtag, and I would just go through those photos and I would like them, and if I really liked the photo, I would comment on it. Like, basically I was just making like random Instagram friends, you know, if that's how you want to say it. But that's what I was doing, and 9 times out of 10 people would follow me. So I was really getting a lot of followers off just doing that. But let me give you a comparison. So 6 years ago, Anastasia Beverly Hills, I mentioned this in my last video, she had 115K. I remember this specifically because that was a lot of followers. Back 6 years ago, people didn't have 1 million followers. That was just like not normal. 6 years ago, it just wasn't. Today, very normal. Like, you could definitely get to 1 million if like your pictures are good and your visuals are great. Like, honestly, it's not super like unattainable today, but 6 years ago that was rare. Like, not everybody had 1 million followers. So ABH had 115K, and she would repost me pretty often, and that's how I got a lot of my followers, like the base of my following. But when she would repost my photo, I would get thousands and thousands of followers. Like, my page would be flooded for days after she reposted me. Today, if a brand with 15 million followers shouts me out, I will get 5 followers. So that kind of just shows you, giving you a comparison of techniques that worked 6 years ago, if you apply them today, like how they really don't work. But I would say give that a try. Go to a hashtag and just like the photos and engage with other people. Try to make friends, because that is very important. Also, if you want to be an influencer and you want to start as an influencer, I would highly, highly, highly recommend going to conventions like BeautyCon, going to Gen Beauty, IMATS. What else is there? I feel like I'm forgetting one. You guys get what I'm saying, but go to these. When I first started as an influencer, I used to go to all of these, and that's literally how I made all my influencer friends, and some of them are doing amazing now. And you know, it's good, it's always good to be connected. You always want to be in touch with people. So that's a really good way to make friends in the industry, and just, you know, you always want to be in the loop because it's your industry, right? So you want to be like involved, you want to know what's going on at all times. Every single day I would read a beauty magazine, whatever it is, New Beauty, even though that's quarterly, but Allure, Elle, Ebony, Essence. Guys, make sure you are reading these on a daily, because you just want to be on top of things. Business of Fashion, that's a good one too. So yeah, so please write that down, make that a priority. If you want to be an influencer, get to these events ASAP, because that's how you'll get in touch with brands, that's how you will get on a PR list, that's how you will get invited to an event, that's how you get on their radar. So don't be shy to make friends, and don't be shy to talk to girls who are, you know, on your same level, who are starting out. That leads to collaborations, you know, all these things. So if you want to be an influencer, act like an influencer. Get to these events that you could get into, anything that you could do, any little event that's going on, anything related to beauty, do it, jump on it, because that's how I was when I first started. I was very, very proactive, I was very eager, I was desperate, and that's how you have to be in these kind of industries, in beauty and fashion and influencing. You have to be on top of it, you have to be eager, you have to want it. Because if you're like, yeah, I think I'll just make a page and I'll post like 3 things, and then like maybe in 2 weeks like people will start emailing me, like, sis, not how it works, sis. Like, get in the line, get in the back of the line, sis, because there are thousands of other girls that want to do the same thing that you do. So what's good about you? What will make you stand out? What's so cool and what's so different about you? So just keep that in mind and sleep on that for a little while. Think about why you're different. Think about what you have to offer. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna end the video with that because I feel like I got all of your questions. All of them were basically the same thing, just said in a different way. If you guys are thinking about it and you want to start, the best way to start is just start, girl. Like get out there. Start your page. Get some good content, even if you need to borrow somebody's professional camera to take photos of product, because it doesn't even need to be of your face. It could just be of the product. It could be of swatches. So get creative, get out there, start planning your content. Yes, I said planning it, plan it. Know what you're going to talk about, know what you're going to offer, and yeah, but that's about it, girlies. So if you guys have any more questions at all, feel free to leave me a comment here. Let me know if this was helpful or not. And also, if you have any further questions, just send me a DM and I'll be happy to help you out and answer anything that I can. Yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.